Sage Wanderer here, and welcome to Coffee and Mysteries. Dom. Now don't confuse this with Coffee Talk. Coffee Talk is about conspiracy theories that I find interesting but don't believe in. This is a new series, Coffee and Mysteries, and this is about mysteries that somehow tie into the general theme of the channel. And I always love a good mystery. And really, the don't is about my love with mystery movies and their soundtracks, as it were. But so to give you an idea of what Coffee and Mysteries is going to be composed of, a future segment I'm currently working on the research of right now, if you want to research along, is on Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. So that gives you an idea of the kind of things that we'll be talking about, either unsolved mysteries or mysteries that have been solved, things that I find interesting and that kind of relate to the theme. And so in that respect, today we're going to be talking about Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow and the missing kids from Idaho. Dom. So, sorry. You gotta laugh to keep from crying. So we've got these kids in Idaho that are missing. If you've been watching the news, this is a current active news story happening right now in February 2020. So we have, essentially, we have father-in-law and mother-in-law, right, who are looking for their grandchildren. And so let's just kind of go back in time and lay some of the groundwork here, because this is a difficult story to follow. And I'm going to do my best to tell it without cluttering it up with too much detail or names that you'll get all confused with. So we're going to use family relations and try to keep that all straight, because it is a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Don't. All right. So let's start with Lori Vallow. Lori Vallow was apparently in a bad marriage. Lori Vallow had 2 children, she has 3 children, 1 grown and away from home, 2 living at home, 1 17, and the other, I think, is 9, 10, something like that, and an older girl and a younger boy. The boy is learning disabled, okay? He has issues of some sort, all right? Looks maybe like, I don't know. I won't guess, but he's has some issues, okay? So, in September, Lori just kind of disappears, right? And the grandparents on her dead husband's side, yes, she has a dead husband. I think she has 2 dead husbands. Don't. Husband number 3 better look out over his shoulder all the time. That's all I'm saying. Just, statistically speaking. So, let's go back even further in time. How did we even get here? Because Lori Vallow has a very interesting story in and of herself before we even get to Chad Daybell, who is a internet kind of religious leader. All right? And how their 2 stories cross is kind of at the core of this telling. And this is going to take a long time. It may take a couple of videos to roll all this out for you. And I'm still researching this ongoing investigation. So, Lori Vallow, let's even leave off her first husband, because I'm not even getting that far back in my research yet. That'll be in a future video. But her second husband and her apparently have a troubled marriage, okay? And to quote her in-laws, his parents, their son spoiled her, and enough was never enough, okay? And so, in the middle of a divorce proceeding with her husband, her brother shoots and kills him in self-defense. So, Lori Vallow's brother kills her husband in their home of apparently it's self-defense, or I don't think he's been charged with anything. I think it was found to be self-defense. Apparently, Lori Vallow's soon-to-be ex-husband I think his name is Charles Vallow. He pulled a ball bat, apparently, on this guy, and this guy shoots him, okay? Now, in a video released just this week, we can see the brother sitting on the curb on the day of the incident. And he said that he was struck with the ball bat, and then he retreated to a bedroom where he grabbed a pistol and then returned to the living room area. And when the assailant came at him, Mr. Vallow came at him with the ball bat, then the brother of Lori shot him in self-defense, killing him. So we got one dead man down. Lori Vallow suddenly doesn't have to worry about custody hearings. She doesn't have to worry about divorce settlements, no more lawyers. Now she's the widow, not the ex, thanks to her brother. Follow me so far? All right. So now we've got her free of husband number one. And somehow, some way, she's been interacting with a guy named Chad Daybell out of Idaho. And Chad Daybell is kind of a Mormon, end times Mormon. There's this movement within the Mormon church called end time Mormonism. They've always been around. They're the preppers. They're the ones preparing. They want to be the ones still standing at the end of the tribulation period. And I believe their eschatology is triumphant return. I don't think they believe in a rapture. So more like old school Catholic beliefs. I think that's the eschatology. I'm not a student of Mormonism. I have read the Book of Mormon mainly just to make my mother mad. I was such a geeky, rebellious teenager. That's been a long time ago. But I have known some Mormon folks that were very good people. I went through Lama's class with my first son and my wife, when she was pregnant with him, and we went through this Lama's, birthing class with a Mormon couple, and we wanted to be friends with them, but they just basically told us, look, we can only be friends with other Mormons. We like you guys, but, we're not going to hang out or watch movies together or anything. and I was like, okay, you guys are kind of weird anyway, but the two ladies liked each other. But anyway, but I thought they were good folks. I grew up in Oregon. There's a lot of Mormons in the Pacific Northwest. I never had a problem with them. One of my mentors or elderly gentlemen who were around at the time of my ordination early on in my ministry, he had been excommunicated from the Mormon church because he had a wife that was, it's a whole other story, a wife that was unfaithful, and he couldn't make her stop, and they excommunicated him for it, and he became a minister in Pentecostal charismatic churches. He's had an interesting story. I think about him a lot lately. But at any rate, so Lori Vallow's brother kills her husband, right? She's communicating with a man named Chad Daybell. Now, Chad Daybell's into this end time kind of prophetic sort of, we're the end time generation, and now we're getting special dispensation from God through angels. This is kind of the general theme that's coming out from this. They're calling it a doomsday cult, but it's really just another splinter group of the Latter-day Saints. I've been watching a friend of Chad Daybell, he published some of her books, a woman named Julie Rowe. I've been watching some of her videos. And Julie Rowe was recently excommunicated from the Latter-day Saints Church for teaching false doctrines and engaging in what they call priestcraft, which I think is like some kind of Christian witchcraft. But at any rate, she's kind of left the reservation and talks openly about angels who guide her in her daily life and reveal events of the future. I watched a video of Lori Rowe from a month ago talking about the death of Lori Vallow's husband at the hands of Lori Vallow's brother. And she's claimed to have been shown a month ago. Now, this is before the police released video of this event, chest cam videos and vest cam videos, whatever. Anyway, so this Julie Rowe person was talking about being showed by God this event. And in it, and I don't know that this information had been released to anybody, but in this, she claims that she sees a Lori's brother getting attacked by her ex, right? And the ex has a concealed pistol, and he draws the concealed pistol and kills the brother in that manner, which is opposed to the video that was recently released with the brother sitting on the curb being questioned by the police, and he tells the police, no, he hit me with the bat, then I retreated to the bedroom and retrieved a firearm then and returned. And so either this Julie Rowe is a false prophet and God showed her no such thing, or the brother, who's got a lot of shady stuff around him as well, or the brother was lying. So either the brother had the pistol concealed when he was attacked with the bat, and he shot the husband, Lori's husband, or and Julie Rowe is a true prophet and God's showing her things, right? Or Julie's a false prophet and she got it wrong. You know, the question is, why would the brother lie about going to the bedroom to get the gun? Well, maybe he felt it was illegal in some way, or sneaky or premeditated, to let them know he carried a gun on his belt, right, or in his pocket. So he lied to the police, and Julie's a true prophet, prophetess, whatever. Or she's a false prophet, and he was telling the truth. He went in the bedroom and got the gun, and what she saw was a bean dream. Now, I'll leave that up to you in the mystery. That's part of the mystery with the coffee. All right, let's talk about the brother who killed Lori Vallow's husband, okay? Then the brother dies mysteriously sometime later. So the brother now is dead. All this has happened very quickly. It's all kind of come and gone since, around July last May. April, May, June, July. The spring and summer of 2019 is when all this stuff is kind of rolling out into the current story that we're seeing play out on national news. So Lori's brother mysteriously dies. He kills her husband, right? And then he ends up dead, okay? Then there's this other twist I'll save for another video. I'm going to do another video on this. But there is a cousin and a cousin's husband who also ends up dead at the hands of this brother who is now dead from some mysterious illness. Some mysterious illness has this 50-year-old something guy dying in his sleep, okay? So now let's go back over to Chad Daybell. So we got Lori Vallow all figured out. She's got a messed up life. Her husband's dead. Her brother killed him. Her brother's now dead from some mysterious ailment. She's got a cousin with a dead husband at the hands of her now dead brother. You following all this? Right? Now, she's been talking to Chad Daybell, this married Latter-day Saints prophet kind of guy who's talking about the end times and end time prepping, that they're calling this leader of a doomsday cult, which is really, I think Chad Daybell is still a member in good standing with the Latter-day Saints. So it's a fringe element of the Latter-day Saints that, from what I can tell, there's been an investigation from the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints, LDS, into these groups within their organization, and many of them are about to be excommunicated from the Latter-day Saints, just like what happened to Julie Rowe. That there's a crackdown on these end time, what they consider to be conspiracy theorist people. But really, there are people that are talking about us being in the end times, but some of them are getting information from angels like this Julie Rowe, and they're making life decisions and encouraging other people's life decisions based on what these angels are telling them. So Julie Rowe also does this energy healing. So she's involving a lot of New Age occultism into her hybrid mixture of Christianity and this end-time doctrine, if you follow. And now I talk about Julie because Julie's talking. You know, I wouldn't know about Julie except Julie's talking. She wants to be part of this story. She's defending Chad Daybell, who's being painted as some kind of end-time crackpot who's dangerous in some way. But so, to kind of get you caught up on where we are with the story, Chad Daybell and Lori start talking over, and it's not Julie, this is Lori, the woman with the dead husband and the dead brother, and they're talking over the internet, and suddenly Chad Daybell's wife, who's been married to for many, many years, his partner in ministry by some accounts, right? He wakes up, she's dead in the floor in the middle of the night. She dies in her sleep. So, conveniently, Chad Daybell's wife dies in her sleep. Conveniently, Lori Vallow's husband is killed by her brother, and then her brother is now dead. So they can't really follow that line. He's not telling on anybody, right? Dead men tell no tales. And Chad Daybell's wife is dead. And within 2 months of Chad Daybell's death of his wife, he marries, now free as a bird, Lori Vallow, and they become a couple. And then in September, they cut off all connection between Lori's 2 children and her ex's family. So there's this whole family, you know, this has been her kids' grandma and grandpa. They're not allowed to talk to them anymore, and no one's heard from these kids since September. So the in-laws send out a wellness check to Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow's house in Idaho, and that he lived in with his wife until she died in their bed 2 months ago. All right, 2 months before this. They get married 2 months later. Okay, it's all really, really fishy. It's all crazy fishy. There's a lot to this story. There's more to be talked about. I'm going to make this a longer series, right? And I hope you followed that, but I'm going to recap, just in case you didn't, to let you know where we're at. Nobody knows where the children are. That's the concern of everyone. The children have not been heard from since September. Lori Vallow's 2 children. And this Julie Rowe character is going out of her way to exclamate to everyone that she does not know where these children are. She does not know. She doesn't have anything to do with where the children are. So where could the children be? We got missing kids. That's the number 1 priority of everyone. Where could they be? Let's hypothesize with some coffee. Are you ready for this? So Lori Vallow / Lori Daybell's children, okay, are either dead or they're being hid out somewhere. Now, there is some belief that there's a custody battle going on with the grandparents over these 2 kids since the death of her husband, and that this is why she would have motivation to hide the children. She refuses to produce the children, Lori Daybell. She refuses to give him any information as to the well-being or welfare of the children, will not talk to authorities. And under the current laws in Idaho, they can't really force her to. They've got to come up with more. These kids may be missing forever. Are they being, kept somewhere in a end-time prepper compound? Do these people, and many of them do, many people think that they believe that this Daybell believes that we are in the end times, and that Christ could return as early as July of 2020. Okay, this is some information I've been discovering as I dig deeper into this rabbit hole. And so Chad Daybell could have convinced Lori Vallow that the children needed to be protected from this outside influence, so they would be among the 144,000 who were spared in the tribulation. Okay, and this is me guessing in their doctrine, because I'm an eschatologist of my own, and I know the 144,000 is tied heavily into the belief system of both the Latter-day Saints and the Jehovah's Witness. Also, there's just a lot of groups. Okay, even the Seventh-day Adventists. So it's a common theme. So I'm thinking that they're trying to make sure the kids make the cut, right? So they may have them hidden out in some LDS kind of offshoot compound somewhere, protected. This Julie Rowe character, who claims not to know where the children are, repeatedly, though, claims to have visions of where the children are. She has a lot of visions. Julie Rowe has a lot of visions. And so she claims to have a vision, even though she says she hasn't heard from Chad Daybell since before his wife died, okay, or since right after his wife died. So she doesn't claim to know what's going on with him other than these visions. She keeps seeing Lori Vallow's children, Lori Vallow Daybell's children, in a sunny environment with the lights on, and they're happy, and they're in someone's home being well cared for, okay, which is highly possible. Or we'll go down the dark side. Don't. What if she was convinced by these angels that she needed to protect her children from the end time suffering, and so she murdered her children to protect them from end time suffering and to spare them of the tribulations that are to come? That is the darkest thought, and that's the biggest fear of everyone involved in this. Lori, where are your children? Convince us that you're just protecting them from the world and you're not protecting them from the tribulation by ending their young lives. Let us know you didn't kill your children, Lori. There's a lot of that going around. So that's the dark side story of this convoluted mess that is Lori Vallow Daybell's life, and how Chad Daybell and his doctrines collided with the woman who was obviously on the edge already. So our biggest fears could be realized because Lori Vallow threatened to kill her husband, claimed that she was an end-time God reincarnated for the purpose of protecting God's people in the end times. So she claimed she would kill her husband if he got in her way, and then he ends up dead at the hands of her brother. What a mystery, and the truth will come to light. We'll see you next time on Coffee and Mysteries.